Welcome to this video tutorial on effective internet searches. This tutorial will demonstrate 5 important strategies for completing internet searches. Using these strategies, you will be able to find exactly what you're looking for in a lot less time. For purposes of this tutorial, let's imagine we're feeling the pressure of exams and it's reaching the end of the term. We want to learn more about stress in order to cope and stay healthy. When I search for stress, you'll notice just how many search results there are. We're looking at about 544 million, which is far too many. As I scroll down, you will see there is some useful information, but there is some areas of it that seems far too general for what we're looking for. So I'll scroll a little bit more to show you a few more of the results. So this leads us to strategy 1 for effective internet searches, which is to use specific and unique terms. By selecting specific and unique terms, you are more likely to retrieve relevant results. Therefore, just searching for the term stress is far too broad. This is where we have to ask ourselves a few questions about our search. So the first question being, what specifically do I want to learn about this topic? What is my purpose? And what are some key terms I can use for my search? So for this particular search we're doing, I would return to my purpose, which was looking at coping with stress and staying healthy during exam periods. So let's try searching stress, coping, and healthy. So I'm going to search for that. So the first thing you'll notice is we still have several millions of results, so far too many, but in reviewing the results it seems to align a little bit better with what we're looking for. So I'm going to keep scrolling for a little bit for you to see. So one of the first things that I am noticing is we are pulling up a lot of results that are not relevant towards what we're looking for. So things such as kids' mental health or kids' stress, not really relevant to us, or workplace stress. So this leads us up to strategy 2, which is how to eliminate unwanted results. Now you can do this simply by adding a minus sign to the terms you want removed from the search. And I am going to use an example a little bit different than the one we started with because it does a very good job of representing how eliminating certain terms can help with your search. So the term we are going to look up is cats. So when I say cats, you can think of a few different ones, but I'm going from the perspective that I want to research about house cats or pets. So after I search cats and I scroll down, you'll start to see there are many types of cats coming up in this search. So we have results related to the domestic house cat, to funny pictures of cats, the Caterpillar Construction Company, Nyan cat, and the Committee Against Torture short form cat. So obviously none of these are very relevant to what we're looking for. So now I'd like to try this search by eliminating those terms from it. So I'm going to put minus sign Caterpillar, minus sign construction, minus sign Nyan, minus sign torture, and I'm going to hit search, and here we go. So as I scroll through, one of the things that's really showing up to me is that the search is coming up a little bit better here. So I've eliminated a lot of those things. I'm getting search results a little bit closer to the domestic house cat or a pet cat, which was what I was looking for. So as I said, I use that example because it really illustrates what I'm trying to do with this strategy, but I'd like to go back to our original search that we were looking for. So again, we were looking for stress, coping, and healthy. So what I'm going to do is add a minus kids because that was coming up in our results and wasn't very relevant to us. And I'm going to also add a minus work because it's also not relevant to our search. So that's just how our second strategy works, using the minus sign to eliminate those terms and keywords we don't want coming up in our results. So now that we know how to eliminate specifics from our search, next I'd like to look at how do you search for specific terms or phrases you would like included. So far we've just been looking at key terms. Now we're going to be moving towards specifics. So this can be especially useful when you remember part of a quote or a saying or a sentence and you've read it somewhere before and you want to try and retrieve it. So I'll give us an example again related to what we're searching for now, which is stress. So I can vaguely remember a quote by Dr. Menninger about mental health, and I think it would be relevant to our search about coping with stress. So I'm going to start first with just searching for Dr. Menninger in quotes. So I'm going to open up a few of these, take a look through and see if I can find that quote that I'm looking for because I know it is by Dr. Menninger. So it doesn't quite seem to be here. Luckily, I do remember part of the quote. So to paraphrase a little bit, I know you're speaking about how mental health and health issues impact all of us. So it's not just that statistics where we say a certain percentage of the people will have a mental health issue. Now again, I'm paraphrasing a lot, but I do know one specific part of the quote, which is, quote, 1 out of 1, end quote. So what I'm going to do now is add that to the search with quotations around it. So therefore the results will show those searches that contain those words in that order. And so now that I've searched for that, I'm going to take a little bit of a look, and there it is right off the bat. So strategy 3, just to refresh, is to use quotation marks to search for exact phrases or words in order. So strategy 4 is one that's meant to save you time. And all it is removing items from your search that will have no impact upon it. So this includes things such as capitalization, punctuation, and common words such as a or the. So removing these will not alter your search. However, one of the reasons that I encourage this as a strategy is because it's the potential to save time. So there's no more wasted time wondering if the word you're looking for has a capital or not, what type of punctuation there was, because in the reality, it has no impact on your actual search results, so you can just cut that whole step in the process. Also, removing insignificant words like the and a simply saves you some time because you don't have to type them out every time. The last strategy is to simply set a time limit on your search. So have you ever gone online, you want to quickly search for something or look up a fact and then realize that you're spending hours online? Or have you ever spent so long searching for something that you just completely end up frustrated with the process? It's actually really quite easy to do and very common. And one common distractor is the hyperlink. So you read something and you see a link to something else, looks pretty interesting, so you click on it and follow it there, which can often lead to something else that looks interesting. You click on that, follow it there. So before you know it, you've gone through so many links and you're not even quite sure where you started. Therefore, I recommend setting a time limit. So when you reach that time limit, it's time to assess your progress. So have you been successful, or are you getting close to being successful with your search? And if not, it might be time to change your search approach, or perhaps ask for help, or maybe even try a different search engine. So for this tutorial, I use Google, but there are a lot of different options that you could try, including Yahoo. So this has been your video tutorial on effective internet searches. This tutorial demonstrated 5 important strategies for completing internet searches. So there are many, many more strategies, tips, and advice out there. So I would encourage you to use the new strategies that you learned today in order to go out there and find some more.